Hi everyone, this is Killshot from 99 Gaming doing a video for The Walking Dead Road to Survival, and this is called Scopely Justice Rant. So this is going to be a very interesting dilemma for all of you guys, but first we need to set some ground rules. Whether you agree with this post or disagree with this post, we are going to mediate it. So either way, I'm asking my loyal subscribers, hit the like button, give it a thumbs up. It circulates it more. It's not whether you agree with it or disagree with it, it's about getting the debate out there. So if you disagree with it, leave it in the comments and we'll definitely debate that. But I don't know a lot about this kid. It's an interesting concept. So let me go through a little bit of the gist of this. So basically, he's saying Scopely made an error and then reset his account 36 hours prior to the error. But there's a little bit of scruples involved with this and a little bit of behavior that, I don't know. I'm not saying that Das Freak is suspect, but I would like for him to log on the YouTube channel and actually leave a little bit of his side of the story. So here's what he's saying. There's a bag match, and the bag match went crazy, and he got 130 trainers as rewards. So just a ton of trainers showed up, and what did he do with them? So the first thing I'd like to ask you guys is, what would you do if 130 extra items showed up? Now, I don't know if there's a glitch that caused this, or if he just opened up and bam, it was just there. So I guess here's the dilemma. If you guys walked out and opened your mailbox and there was $10,000 in your mailbox, what are you going to do? You going to knock on every neighbor's door and ask them if it was supposed to be mailed to them, or are you going to do something about it until the rightful owner comes up? It's in your property, and I know this is what's weird. It's a weird dilemma. So basically, what did he do? Now, what he's saying is he needed to get rid of them to create space. It kind of looks as if he, and look, I don't want to question your judgment, but he got rid of it and got something out of it, like, oh my God, I got this. Let me hide this evidence because Scopely's going to come after it. That's sort of what I felt like when I was reading it. I don't know if that's true, but anyway, at that point, I didn't know what to do, where to store them. I just cashed them in at the depot or points. I used those points to buy a 5-star Rick. I guess my question would be, did you email Scopely at that point and say, hey, you guys made a mistake, and what are you going to do with these characters to give them the chance to respond? Probably not. So the first thing he did, he hightailed it. He cashed it in and bought something for it as quick as possible. So Scopely's going to want their stuff. I mean, even though there is a mistake, and you guys know me. Look, I am not a pro Scopely person because there's a lot about this game that I've called them out. And in fairness, there's some things that they fixed. There's some things that I still call them out on. But this is a little bit of a fine line for me, and this is why I wanted to get this video up and have you guys chime in on what your opinion is. So he refreshed his iPad, and then he feels like it was being robbed. So he's got all these things that were taken away from him, and this is where it gets like a little overkill to me if it happened this way. So anything that he did in about a 36-hour period prior to that was wiped. It was gone. So this is where I do have some sympathy for him, because the Rick that he says I legally purchased in the depot, but with points reaped from selling the trainers I had no room for, well, the Rick you purchased wasn't yours. I mean, that's just the reality. It's their mistake, but it wasn't yours. So they do have a right, in my opinion, to take that. But the other things, so if you put that as your number one point, like I legally purchased this and that's my Rick because I didn't have room, I'm not going to give you a lot of sympathy for that one. However, I do think you make some valid points with the other stuff. 4-star Rick was taken as a reward for third place faction tournament. Yes, they shouldn't take that stuff. Not giving back, you sold a 4-star Josh. Experience that you leveled up were wasted. Training ground upgrades were wasted. You lost some items so if this is true, I think you got a legitimate point. The other problem that I have with this is, if this just happened yesterday and you're writing, down here at the bottom, it's a pretty strong statement. I'm sure there are a lot more that I'm missing. All this over Scopely making a mistake and then punishing me for their error. Worst case scenario, I could have lost the 5-star Rick purchase with the points. I agree with that. I want my account reset back to where it was last night. Makes me wonder if I want to continue playing the game, here and here and here. And you've responded. Now, I will tell you, I don't think Scopely's customer service is the quickest company to respond. I had a glitch. I don't know. It was with a Rick a while back, and I emailed them. It took them a day. They did solve the problem. I got in touch with their technical support people. So it's not the best technical support, but it's definitely not the worst technical support I've ever dealt with. So I do have my own convictions and my own issues with Scopely. But what I'd like to throw out to you guys, what would you do? You know, I think that let's start with just analyze step number one. If you had 130 trainers in there, how would you guys respond to that? And then you see the potential. Keep in mind, terms of service on some of these games are really, really strict. There's a lot of fine print, and they could probably delete your account anytime just for any reason. So, you know, you got to be a little bit skeptical and really be careful how you approach certain items in the game as well too. I'm not saying that I would have emailed Scopely and said, by the way, I got 130 extra trainers. I think you did what a lot of people did, but you also have to realize that they have a right to recoup something that's a mistake in the game as well too. Now, I think for the hassle, they should probably reward you for it because in all honesty, it's an extra 5-star. Who cares? I don't. I think it was a little overkill, and they probably just should have, you know, maybe sent you an email or something and said, hey, we know you got this, we're taking it away from you, or maybe the only recourse they had was to go back and reset it. One thing I will say about the game, and maybe Jumping Dead or someone else can chime in with this, they don't seem to be very good at just giving things. Like some, what am I trying to say here? I want to kind of make this point really clear. Some game makers, the way they build their games, if they want to add a character, they can just shoot you over a character. Scopely seems to struggle with that, which is weird because, you know, you can buy a character or you can open a pack and all of a sudden that character shows up in your inventory. But one time in the past, and I know I had a personal issue with Scopely where they said they had asked me to do some things for them a long time ago, and I showed you guys the Twitter feed that said we're going to send this to you. It never happened. And I think someone might respond a little bit later on that they were working out some technical glitches in order to get certain items to people. So, you know, maybe that's just kind of corporate speak or whatever they said for, hey, we screwed you over and we'll get to it whenever we get to it. I don't know. Maybe they are limited as far as what they can do as far, you know, for the game anyway. Anyway, I just wanted to debate this, talk about it a little bit, let you guys, the subs, leave your comments. Let me know, you know, it's like a debate, right? It's like Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump. Where do you guys stand with this? You think Das Freak has it's a kind of interesting name too. You think he has a point? You think he was wronged by Scopely to this extent where they should do something about it? Or do you think that maybe he gamed it a little bit and Scopely was well within their right? I'm more on his side, but I am treading a little bit of middle ground as well too. So thanks for watching. This is Scopely Justice Rant. What do you guys think we should do to get justice in a scenario? My name's Killshot. Give this video a thumbs up, and let's talk about it. Peace.